Ukraine accused Russia of injuring dozens of people in drone attacks across Kharkiv region. As President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday, he discussed air defense and sanctions with Donald Trump at the Vatican last week. Ukrainian authorities released video said to show the aftermath of an attack in the early hours of Saturday in a small town about 12 miles from the Russian border. Reuters was able to verify the location but not the date of the footage. Officials said the city of Kharkiv was also attacked on Friday night, setting homes and vehicles on fire. Zelensky denounced the strikes on Telegram, saying there were no military targets in the area. He called for stronger and real decisions from allies to help beef up Ukraine's air defense capability. In separate comments released by his administration, Zelensky said he highlighted the importance of more effective air defenses to Trump last week. Zelensky described the impromptu meeting on the sidelines of Pope Francis's funeral as the best the two have ever had. He also called the newly signed critical minerals deal between Ukraine and the United States mutually beneficial, and said he and Trump both agreed that a 30-day ceasefire between Kyiv and Moscow was the correct first step towards ending the war in Ukraine. His comments came as a Russian port town declared a state of emergency, saying a Ukrainian drone strike hit residential buildings and injured several people. Eyewitness video showed the moment a building in Novorossiysk was hit. Reuters verified the location, but not the date of the footage. There was no immediate comment from Ukraine on the attack, while Russia has denied deliberately targeting civilians in Ukraine. On Saturday, the Kremlin demanded a definitive response over a 3-day ceasefire next week proposed by Moscow to mark the 80th anniversary of the World War II victory over Nazi Germany. Zelensky said he was ready for a truce as long as it would be 30 days in length. Moscow criticized his reaction as ambiguous.
En una de las llamadas
in one of the calls, U.S. President Donald Trump said it was important for the U.S. Army to enter Mexico to help us in the fight against drug trafficking. And I want to say that's true. In some of the calls, he said, "How can we help you fight drug trafficking? I propose that the U.S. Army come in to help you." And you know what I told him?
No, Presidente Trump.
No, President Trump. The territory is sacrosanct. Sovereignty is sacrosanct. Sovereignty is not for sale. Sovereignty is loved and defended. We can collaborate. We can work together. But you can do it in your territory. We can do it in ours. We can share information. But we will never accept the presence of the U.S. Army in our territory.
Back to work. Obviously, the immediate focus is on this global economic uncertainty, particularly the US and China part of that and what it means for us. And so I was able to be briefed on that, what's happening in markets and what it means for the Australian economy. So clearly that's the immediate focus. And again, I think one of the reasons why we got this big majority last night is because people recognised that if you wanted stability while the global economy was going crazy, then a majority Labor government was the best way to deliver that. You know, we know that the direct impact on us from the tariffs is manageable and relatively modest. But there is a huge downside risk in the global economy. I think what's happening, particularly between the US and China, does cast a dark shadow over the global economy, and we're not uniquely impacted by that, but we're really well placed. We are quite well prepared because of the progress that Australians made over the course of the last 3 years.
While it was 14 nautical miles from the coast of Malta in international waters, it came under attack. A drone fired 2 missiles at the front of the ship, igniting a fire and compromising the hull. The ship is badly damaged right now. It is taking on water, but the vessel is still in international waters. It's still at sea. Why we were attacked is because we were trying to bring life-saving aid to Gaza, because Israel has the whole population of Gaza under siege. Everyone who is on that vessel and who was scheduled to also sail towards Gaza knows the history of Israel attacking the flotillas, knows that Israel has killed our volunteers before, and they know it's not, or that it is a dangerous mission.
There have been so many disagreements, differences between me and some of my family. This current situation that has been ongoing for 5 years with regard to human life and safety is the sticking point. It is the only thing that's left. Of course, some members of my family will never forgive me for writing a book. Of course, they will never forgive me for lots of things. But, you know, there is, I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done, despite what some people in that country have done. I don't want history to repeat itself. I think there's a lot of other people out there, the majority, that also don't want history to repeat itself. Through the disclosure process, I've discovered that some people want history to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
That's quite a statement. Who do you think that is?
I'm not going to share it at this point.